The first limited 5-star for the newest erudition path, Aglaea, will be coming soon, and she's incredible. Now, I've been seeing some doubt around how good she'll perform compared to the current meta, but let me tell you, she is one of the strongest currently, with a couple requirements to be so, which we will get into. So this video will cover all of her materials, Lightcones, Relics, Teamcomps, and Eidolons to build the best main DPS Aglaea. Everything here you can pre-farm for, it's all already in the game. So let's start with her Lightcones. Her signature is her best, but it's just a massive stat stick, nothing necessary, and it's not very universal as of now, because it is locked to that remembrance path. Her second best in slot is unfortunately a battle pass weapon, Sweat Now, Cry Less. It is perfect for her, but it costs money, so Aglaea's best in slot third option is Genius's Greetings, which performs close to that battle pass weapon. Since Genius's Greetings is gacha, some last resort options can be the 2-3 stars Shadow Burn or Reminiscence, because Victory in a Blink does not really work well with Aglaea's kit. Moving on to her best Relic Sets, Aglaea wants the newest hero of the Triumphant Song set. It's tailor-made for her kit. The planet ornaments should be Banana Amusement, only because there's nothing really better. Unfortunately, Aglaea's Memo Sprite doesn't get that 32% crit damage because it doesn't take into combat buffs from relics, but it is still strong nonetheless. If you have really good substats on Rudolent or Izumo, then those work too. Next up, relic stats. So the main stats you want to aim for is crit on the body, either rate or damage, speed on the boots, lightning damage on the orb, and either attack percent or ERR percent on the rope. If you want E1 or are planning on using Huohuo, then attack percent rope, but if you don't have those external energy sources, then ERR percent will perform better. Then the substats and stat goals to aim for will be speed, either one less than your Sunday or advanced forward character, or around 160 as a more universal build. She really wants to go fast. Crit rate and damage is second, and attack percent is last. Her speed pretty much decides how well she'll perform, especially if you're using an advanced forward character, so high speed is basically a requirement. Now team comps. Aglaea will be a lightning main DPS unit with a Memo Sprite, so Sunday is by far her best in slot buffer. It's not even close. He's practically required to make her broken. Still, Robin and Bronya are good, then Sparkle and Asta are, well, budget options. They're not great. For the third flex slot, Remembrance MC is pretty good, especially if you're running the Izumo Plan Ornament. Pela and Rome are always decent, but energy is very important for Aglaea, so Ting Yun does really well. And for the sustain slot, Huohuo is best. Instead of Huohuo, any sustain that has as many turns as possible can utilize Quid Pro Quo, for example, Gallagher. He's pretty good with that light cone. But of course, Aglaea's premium strongest hyper carry team will be herself, Robin, Huohuo, and Sunday. This team is just nasty. Lastly, final section, Eidolons. E1 is incredibly broken. Enemies inflicted with Seam Stitch, which is inflicted at random by the Memo Sprite's attack. That enemy takes 15% more damage, plus every time Aglaea or her Memo Sprite attack this target, she gains 20 energy. That's 20 per attack. This allows her to ult so much more consistently and doesn't require those energy teammates and ERR rope. Keep in mind her ult cost is 350, the highest we've ever seen. Comparing her Light Cone and E1, the E1 has much more value and allows for much more universality when it comes to her builds. E2, every time Aglaea and her Memo Sprite attack, it ignores 14% defense up to 3 stacks, and it's cleared once the enemy takes action. This is just a straight damage increase, nothing too crazy, not really worth getting. E4, the speed boost effect from Memo Sprite's talent has its stack limit increased by 1, plus after Aglaea attacks, Garment Maker gains that same speed boost effect from the talent. This Eidolon just provides a ton of speed, nothing crazy. E6, when Aglaea ults, Garment Maker gains 20% lightning res penetration, and when either Aglaea or Garment Maker's speed reaches 160, 240, or 320, then the damage dealt by a joint attack increases by 10, 30, or 60% respectively. As you can see here, joint attack is defined as multiple attacks in one action. Now at E6, 320 speed isn't too difficult to hit in combat, but it's not guaranteed. Regardless, this is just another massive damage increase and doesn't change her builds or playstyle that much. So it's noticeable that Aglaea is an expensive unit. She doesn't have many light cone options, her E1 basically changes her, and Sunday is practically required for her to perform at her best. Still, she has value with a completely free-to-play build. If you like her for her, then she's fine on her own. She'll still clear all the content, albeit with maybe a little more effort on your part.